Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is James Ramos from At the Quarter Pole, and here's my first review of the Kentucky Derby, my first report, and also the William Hill as they stand today, April 17th of 2026. And my report starts out with workouts. April 10th, Commandment ran 4.8s and 48 flat. We also have Renegades work on April 16th, just yesterday, ran 4 furlongs in 40 and 4. Other workouts to also let you know today, Commandment and Full Effort ran together, paired up, and they ran exactly the same time at 48 and 2/5. Also, workout was Further Ado today, 4 furlongs, 48 and 4. So they're getting every furlong about every 12 seconds. Perfect workout for Further Ado was the most impressive. I mean, a lot of clockers there were very impressed by Further Ado. The last 1/8 of a mile coming down the stretch, he had his ears pricked like two little antennas, and he looked absolutely outstanding out there at Churchill Downs today. Chief Wallaby will have the blinkers on. He's not in the Derby race yet. He's on the outside looking in on the 22 post, but most of the track people think he's going to draw in. Now, the blinkers on is going to sharpen his speed, but the problem is he's going to be on either the 19th or the 20 post, which might be a detriment, but he's going to have the blinkers on to show more speed. Now, what I saw about Chief Wallaby, I'd take nothing from Chief Wallaby's talent. I'm going to be using him in the Superfecta, but it's a way he didn't like to come in between horses in the Florida Derby. I think he will improve, especially with being Bill Mott. Always improves with his horse, as he did last year with Somerty when he didn't. Somerty was especially didn't like kickback, and he ran an outstanding race even in the mud. Other horses to mention, Cheap Honcho ran today 5/8 and 59 and 3. Stark Contrast 5/8 and 59 and 4/5. Now, Stark Contrast they don't know if he's going to run or not. I guess with the series of workouts to see if he enjoys it. The dirt track, he ran on synthetic last time in the Jeff Ruby Stakes, ran a good second. Before that, he used to be a grass winner. My problem with Stark Contrast, maybe a mile and 1/4 is just a little bit too long for this horse. Chip Honcho, same goes. A mile and 1/4 might be too much. A mile and 3/16 when he ran the Louisiana Derby. He faded late. A horse I didn't mention who I like going into the Kentucky Derby for a live long shot is going to be Golden Temple. Now, Cherie DeVoe in Louisiana Derby added the blinkers in that race. He didn't have his usual big kick. Tried to keep him up to the pace in that race at the Louisiana Derby. Did not successfully do that, but he kind of just grinded his way. If you look at the race, ladies and gentlemen, he ran a competitive third. It's a sneaky good race. You got to use him in the Super. I'm going to be using him because he's got great value. And speaking of value, here are the William Hill's current odds that I have with me today. And I'll go through them right now. Renegade is at 4-1. This is William Hill right now. They're probably going to change once we get close to Kentucky Derby and the day of the race. 4-1, I put it as GV for great value. Commandment, 5-1. They're probably going to change, but right now, great value just on the win bet by itself. Further Ado is at 6-1. You won't see these odds come Derby day, but I mean, right now, that would be great value. The Puma is 10-1. I would say that's even value, not getting great value, not getting bad value. So I put it down as E for even value, which is, or C is correct value for the horse. Chief Wallaby is at 12-1. Now here's the two is, I put it as an overlay OL, but with the 20 posts or the 19 posts, that looks like a significant underlay. Depends on the post. If he gets the outside post that far wide, then it's an underlay. If he drives in any closer, if he could, that'd be an overlay. But 12-1, looking like he's going to be the 19 and 20 post, is going to be right now an underlay, but still got to use him. I mean, he doesn't show any bad races. He beat the Puma in the main special weight on my birthday on January 10th at Gulfstream Park, and then has shown an incredible second in the Fountain of Youth, and then a nice third in the Florida Derby. And he didn't have to win that race. He just had to have the points. Now he's suffering from the point system, but a lot of track people think he's going to draw in. Silent Tactic, 15-1. I say that's the correct value for this horse at 15-1. A lot of people will say that's an overlay. I don't think so. With Further Ado, with Brad Cox having all the top horses with Further Ado and Commandment, also the other horse I have to mention in this race. So I would say right now that the Scientific has 15 to 1's correct value. Emerging Market at 15 to 1, and in my opinion, is an underlay. The reason people saying he won his main at 3 to 1. We don't know correctly how good that race was. And then, not to be a contradiction, he was up close, about 5 furlongs off the 46 flat in Louisiana, and he bore down the speed in that race. The Chief Honcho faded. I don't know if the field was that good. Now, my opinion, not to be, not to burn both candles at one end, but my opinion is that for this race, for Emerging Market at 15 to 1, comparing to Golden Temple right now at 25 to 1, my better value is at Golden Temple because he does show a close as Emerging Market might be a mid-packer. I'm seeing Emerging Market breaking down the gate. It's going to be no more than 5 to 6 lengths, and he's going to be a stalker. Golden Temple is the traditional closer, be around 8 to 10 lengths from the pace projection as I see the race. Albus is an underlay at 20 to 1. Didn't like the Wood Memorial race at all. Ocelli came in third, and Right to Party second. It was Bucks Cards, and just for whatever reason now, ladies and gentlemen, that the Wood Memorial doesn't get the better horses anymore. In my opinion, he's an underlay in my opinion at 22 to 1. The can't play. Dane and Bourbon underlay. The William Hill has him between 22 and 25 to 1. That's an underlay in my estimate. Potente, I think correct value. A lot of people are going to roast me on this one because they're going to say he's way over underlay 25 to 1. But again, I didn't like the Santa Anita Derby film. He was used hard as the last 1/8 of a mile. I heard a lot of people say, well, he didn't need the race. Correct. But who did he beat in the San Felipe? He beat Robusta, who came back in the Santa Anita handicap and ran last. He beat Brent. I didn't want to go the distance. And unfortunately, Potente beat So Happy. Then So Happy beats him in the Santa Anita Derby. With So Happy being out of Run Happy, these 4 generations back from Super Saver 1 to 2010, Kentucky Derby with Calvin Burrell for Windstar Stables. But after that race, Super Saver really never panned out as a 3-0, neither 4-0 moving on. Another horse I'm throwing out. So Potente, I'm going to roast it for this, and probably will be 25 to 1 correct odds. You could look how good the race was and how the other races are panning out. Full Effort 25 to 1. Why? Synthetic horse. They don't know if he's going to like the dirt course. I think he's an overlay. He looked great. He ran 42 with Commandment at the 4/8. They ran in tandem. He looked like he's handling the distance. The exercise rider was interviewed by one of the colored commentator for Twin Spires, said the horse's looked super. So horse you can't throw out in the supers or tries, or you'd probably be regretting it. So Happy overlay 25 to 1. As I said, being out of Run Happy, who's best maybe at a mile, got to go to a 1.25 miles, has never taken this distance, though he won the Santa Anita handicap drawing away. But that field was very weak, in my opinion, with 100 buyer. So that's his best buyer to date. There always a certain amount of regression coming back to the Kentucky Derby, going from a different track, going from Santa Anita to Kentucky Derby. 2 factors of this: he's traveling almost 3,000 miles from the West Coast to Churchill, maybe less, maybe 2,000 miles. But also the track at Kentucky is a deeper track, not the speed track as Anita. And I always say it's a speed track, even when it plays heavy. For most tracks in the East Coast, a heavy dampened track in Santa Anita is a fast track out east because they get more moisture. So I'm not using So Happy. Wonder Dean, the Invader, 30 to 1, maybe 35 to 1, correct odds. Probably going to float up. I haven't seen anything until I get the racing form, until I get also the post position. Post position is critical until I know who gets the right post. The only reason I said Chief Wallaby be out to run the 20 posts because he's still in the also eligible list looking to draw in. Pavilionian, 15 to 1. Yeah, he came in second in the Louisiana Derby. I didn't like that effort. And I know he came from New Mexico for the race before that. I'm not taking any New Mexico horses this time in the Kentucky Derby. If they do the Mind the Bird thing like they did in 2009, then I'm totally out of my ticket, but I'm not using Pavilionian. Leading Change, I need to look at the race firm. Don't know any information on this horse. These are probably the also I was looking in. 50 to 1. Right to Party, second in the Wood Memorial. 50 to 1, projected by William Hill. Is that correct odds? I always say yes. Correct odds for Pavilionian and Leading Change at 51 correct odds. Chip Poncho is at 35-1. Doesn't look like he wants to distance. I think Cleveland is the correct odds. Final score 50-1, correct odds. Nearly 35-1. I don't think he's going to run. That's right now an overlay, considering he showed talent winning the Holy Bull. He might, if he runs, he might hit third or fourth in the Trier Super. Can't leave him out. Class President, I'm not sure the horse is ill or sick. He missed his start in the Bluegrass Stakes. Now is an overlay at 50-1. Probably not going to run this horse. 6 Speed was my pick in the Dubai Derby about 3 weeks ago. Overlay at 70-1. I don't think he handled the distance. He faded. He's a fast horse, super fast, going at least a mile 1/16th, but I don't think he's going that last 1/8 mile. He's probably going to swallow it up. Anthropido was really my biggest disappointment for the Santa Anita Derby. I thought he was going to win the race clearly. Hector Berrios had this horse out, draw 4 wide on the first turn, away all the way to coming home. Never showed his good kick. Then he ran second in the Beverly Lewis behind Plutarch. Now he's at 91, and he's also eligible looking in. And right now, the only way I liked Intrepido was he needed to win that race to even draw in this race, and he ran fourth. And it wasn't a good race at all, so I'm dropping him out. Universe, and it's boxcars 99-1, and probably not put down as an underlay because I don't think this horse is either going to show or not even running the race. Horse has underlays. It's also grittiness, so I picked as a long shot to run halfway decent run in Virginia Derby. He's still a maiden, and yeah, he deserves to be 99-1, but he's a damn good horse for a main horse to run second by Credible. Credible is at 20-1. 20-1, and right now that's correct odds. I'm using him in the Superfecta. I don't think he's good enough to win. He's going to get the rider assistance of Jaime Torres, and that is a good rider. And he's a smart rider. He's not well known, but he's got talent. Further Due is going to get the rider assistant John Velasquez, and John Velasquez is super sneaky after winning with Authentic before then, and Always Dreaming. And that's what I have for this report, for my first report for the Kentucky Derby. I should be doing at least 1 or 2 more reports to see the progress of the horses and also my final pick. This is James Ramos from At the Quarter Pole, where winning and history run neck and neck. Have a good late afternoon, ladies and gentlemen.